me. I am Tiffany Bailey Romay, and I am your Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Chairperson for the Pocono Mountain Association of Realtors. And I am beyond excited. I want to just say, ladies and gentlemen, and esteemed guests, and especially our honored panelists, welcome to our special panel discussion in celebration of Her Story Day. So Black Her Story Day. Why did we call it that? Because Black History Month, it is February. However, today is Leap Year Day, the 29th, which only happens once every 4 years. So technically, kind of, sort of, we would be March 1st, which is Women's History Month. So we're bringing it all together. However, we don't want another Her Story Day, Black Her Story Day, to take place 4 years from now. Let me just put a pin in that. But today we gather to recognize, celebrate the remarkable contributions, resilience, and achievements of Black women throughout history and contemporary society. As we reflect on the invaluable impact of Black women, it's essential to acknowledge their diverse experience, leadership, and innovations across various fields. And I am so grateful to be a recipient of the women that have come before me, the women that have shaped our culture, advanced social justice, and inspired generations. Our panelists are distinguished Black women in leadership in their respective fields, embodying the spirit of empowerment and excellence. Through their insight, experience, and wisdom, they will offer valuable perspectives on the triumphs, challenges, and ongoing struggles faced by Black women, both past and present. So without further ado, let us embark on the enlightening journey as we honor the past, celebrate the present, and envision a future where contributions of Black women are fully recognized, celebrated, and cherished. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed panelists for what promises to be an inspiring and thought-provoking discussion. I want to say hello to Darlene Meekins, Cindy, Jaja, and Dr. Joy Hunt. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, women, so much for being here today and celebrating Black Her Story Day with us at the Pocono Mountain Association of Realtors. I would like to start today with Cindy, who is, oh my God, okay, first and foremost, if you can see me, this is like the bio, because that's how bomb she is, okay? I just want y'all to know, we have some serious players here today. So Cindy, who currently serves as Director for the Internal Revenue Service, Tax Exempt and Government Entities, Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. Cindy has held this position in Washington since 2004. So we were talking earlier. I just want you to know she is not new to this. She is true to this. And I love her so much. And I'm so grateful that she happens to be my personal friend. She started her federal government career in the 80s as a GS-01 clerk typist under the Stay in School program. She began her career in the field of equal employment opportunity in 1988. Before this career at the IRS, Cindy also held several employment positions at agencies such as Export-Import Bank of U.S., Department of Agriculture, and the Department of Defense. Cindy is a graduate of Maryland, University of Maryland. Come on, University of Maryland.
Go Terps.
All right, all right. She honorably holds multiple life memberships with the following: National EEO organizations, Blacks in Government, Deaf in Government, Federal Asian Pacific American Council, Federal Employed Women, National Image Incorporate, and Society of American Indian Government Employees. Again, I said this before. She's not new to this. She's true to this. She likes to be called Cindy. Just want y'all to know that. So we don't have to be formal with the Cynthia. And she is a proud recipient. She was Woman of the Year in 2018, given by the organization NII, the recipient of the Champion of Diversity. And I remember that too. I was so proud. I mean, Again, I say this to everybody that's on here. Steel sharpens steel. You need to have people in your life that you're looking up to, that you can have those conversations on your rise to success, on your rise, and all avenues of success, business, personal, friendships, all of those things. And I'm so grateful. And again, I can keep going on, but I know what she's most proud of. She has 2 sons and 5 grandchildren, and she is the ultimate daughter to her family and aunt and to everyone. She is a giver, giver, giver. And I just love you so much. So I'm going to be quiet because it is not about me today. It is about this beautiful panelist. And I'm so excited to introduce my friend, Cindy.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I appreciate that. And I love you so much. And I said, you pretty much did my introduction. I was going to do the same. So just to elaborate on what Tiffany had talked about, I have been in the government for 44 years. I like to say I started at the age of 5, and I've been in the EEO, EDI diversity civil rights field since 1988. So I have been doing this work for an extremely long time. All the different national EEO life memberships I hold, I am active members of those organizations where I present at their annual conferences every year. I won several awards. I'm a proud mother and grandmother, but I wanted to, just talk about briefly, one of the challenges I faced early on in my career in this position, I should say, when I started in 2004 as the director. We had 19 directors at the time when I was appointed into this position. And every Monday morning, we would sit around this huge table and we would discuss business for the week. What's important going on, any important things that we need to discuss or vote on. And around this table, I was the only female director out of 19. I was the only Black director. And I was the only director that did not hold a law degree. So that limits a lot of other choices. So the other 19 directors in my division were all white men. And every week we would meet on Monday to discuss business. And they would be in their little huddle, and I would be sitting off, waiting for my turn to speak. And I made a point to say, you know what, I'm never part of their beginning conversations. So I made a point to put myself in. And I remember one Monday morning, we were gathering around a table before the start of business. The guys started talking about playing golf for the weekend. And I said, hey guys, when is tea time? And the whole room got quiet. And they said, Cindy, we didn't know you golf. I said, I don't, but I'm willing to learn if I can be a part of the team. I said, I've been sitting here quietly every Monday while you all discuss going to the bars and throwing back beers. And I felt like I was never a part of the team. And I want you to remind you that I'm just a part of the team as you all are. So they gained my respect then. And then from that point on, every Monday morning when we were meeting, hey, Cindy, how was your weekend and what's going on? And I made sure that they included me. Of course, that was 20 years ago. And now we're much more diverse in our directors pool. But that was a challenge I had to face and I had to overcome.
And I love that. And I see a lot of people clapping in reference to that. What I'm hearing is you saw that there was a disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
You looked and navigated to see a way to find something where you can come together.
Mm-hmm.
And golf happened to be. Now, how's your golf game now?
Well, you know what? I tried it a couple times and it is not my thing, but they know that I'm willing to go if need be, because as we know, a lot of business is talked about on these non-hours of meetings. So a lot of times I'm going with them. I'll be there and listen in just for the conversations, but golf is not my thing.
So,
I'll be
being and I know I want to talk because Dr. Joy
Mm-hmm.
She and I have something so similar.
Okay.
But I'm looking at this environment where you, like you said, not only were you the only female, but you were the only Black person. So that meant
Mm-hmm.
that there wasn't even a male counterpart in that sense, in reference for you to,
Female.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, right. So that being said, how was that? How was it even just being the woman?
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I had to do a lot of extra to be heard. We would be sitting around the table and we would be discussing a matter. And I would say, well, let me explain. Maybe we need to do it X, Y, and Z. And before I can get my words out, another male director would speak up and would overpower my voice and say, well, why don't we do it X, Y, and Z? And I said, excuse me. I said, I haven't finished talking yet. And
Right,
that's exactly what I said. We need to do it X, Y, and Z. So at that time, it gained attention of our commissioner, who was over all of us, which was a white male. And
right,
he realized that people were over talking me as well. So he made a point to say, hey, we're going to start off with ground rules. We're going to treat everyone with dignity and respect. We're all directors, and everybody's voices should and shall be heard. So that was the way I was able to include myself in
include
conversation.
yourself. And I
Mm-hmm.
also want to say this, in that time frame, and you being that vision, that
Mm-hmm.
body, um how did that impact other women, brown women, to be able to journey in this, in the industry, in the government industry, in the IRS?
Hmm. Well, I was the trailblazer. So after me, of course, we started doing more recruitment of not just women, but Black women, but different ethnicities. So they
Mm-hmm.
came to me, Cindy, tell me, what was it like, and what is the culture of the organization? I've always said I've worked for the federal government for 44 years, and you need to know what the culture of the
Mm.
organization is before you dive in. I've seen so many people fail because they come straight in, try to make major and drastic changes without knowing what the culture is, and they
Right.
fail. So they come to me and ask, okay, Cindy, give me the scoop, what's going on? And I made it a lot easier for them to follow behind me.
And I want to give you one more question before we
Mhm.
go on. Can you speak to the importance of representation and diversity in leadership positions within companies?
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. I always say it is a must. Your company should be a mirror of the people you service.
Hmm.
We're servicing all different type of diversity, and not just within race and gender, but education, you know, uh, beliefs and values. So all of that stuff is considered diversity. So it needs to represent who you're servicing. And I've always said, I want to leave you with this story, and I don't want to take up too much time,
No,
but
no.
my commissioner is a Black male, and we've been doing massive recruitment. So I'm going to put a plug in there. If anybody know any accounting majors, we're doing direct hiring. We could direct hire accounting majors. So my Black male boss went out to some of the local colleges and universities, and he went to an HBCU, and
Hmm.
he went out there to do recruiting along with some IRS recruiters. He says, Cindy, I was so embarrassed when we went to this Black HBCU college, and here's this white recruiter talking about how nice it is to work in the IRS. And he even used some type of story about Dennis the Menace. He had did, and my boss was like, "You need to know your audience. First of all, these are college students. No one
Who
knows
knows
who Dennis
Dennis
the
the
Menace is.
Menace?
Number two, people tend to gravitate towards people who look like them, sound
Mm.
like them, and that's why you need to make sure that you have the diversity in your organizations and companies so you can service the people who look like you. It's human nature. You gravitate towards people who look and sound like you. What,
Yes.
as a college student at the University of Maryland, if a white male or female would have come up to me and said, "Come on and join the IRS," I would have said, but let a Black female or male, I'm being honest, come up, I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable and know, okay, we have something that we can relate to. So
Yes.
that's what we need to do. Yes.
Yes. I love,
Mhm.
and I want you guys to know Cindy's not going anywhere. We're going to bring everyone back together because we're going to have a sister chat at the end. However, before we go on now, Jamie, check the chat. My question is, what game was Cindy willing to learn to participate and to be a part of the team? And the first person that gets that right in the chat will get these amazing mugs. Woo! So Jamie, we will announce all the winners at the end. Jamie is taking inventory. Whoever wins, we will announce all the winners at the end. So that is the first. All right. So I know our second panelist today, who also another great friend, Darlene Meekins. And Darlene Meekins is the regional vice president for NAREB. Darlene is also a realtor with over 20 years of experience. And her journey began in computer software sales. So what's really amazing about a lot of the entrepreneurs that we'll be featuring today, they had initial fields, found and journeyed their way through and found another niche. And I'm so proud to, because I'm one of those people too. And like I was saying, Dr. Joy and I have a similar background with the hair. So I just absolutely love that, because I always say hair saved my life. However, real estate took me to another life, right? So I just want to say and also with Darlene, she has a BS in industrial management, concentration with computer science from Penn West, California. Her leadership skills from a master's of business administration degree from St. Joseph University. In 2012, she embarked on the new adventure, pursuing real estate. And she's a licensed realtor, but also a licensed realtist. And what is a realtist? Well, realtist is the organization that is now NAREB. And I know that our beautiful Darlene, is she here? I want to see her. I know we can't necessarily hear her right now because she has been speaking and doing so much, and she's in North Carolina, and she's stopped to be here. She's in North Carolina for the NAREB convention, and she has some levels of laryngitis. I already know she's going to try to talk, but we have a video to kind of talk about what NAREB is. So Jamie, can you share that with everyone? So if you guys can hear me, they're having their next regional, but this is some of what's happening right now in North Carolina. What is leadership? NAREB. Again, we're celebrating Black History Month. Look how beautiful Darlene is. Oh, y'all having a good time. This is why your voice is gone. If I was there, my voice would be gone too. That is our esteemed president of NAREB. We can't hear the video. I don't know if there's a sound issue. Jamie?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
It was mostly music. Do you want me to play it again?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Can we talk about, so Darlene, can I see her? I want to talk about how are you, gorgeous?
Yeah, I apologize about my voice.
You sound sultry
I'll
and
do
sexy.
the best that I can.
So I know, when we talk about NAREB, and let's National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And and I know that there is a history, right? And the reason why NARAB exists. And I'll share a little bit because I know a little bit. The National Association of Real Estate Brokers was founded in Tampa, Florida in 1947 as an equal opportunity and civil rights advocacy organization for African American real estate professional consumers and communities in America. The purpose of NAREB is to enhance the economic improvement of its members and the community at large, minority communities which it serves, to unite those engaged in recognizing the branches of real estate industry, including brokerage management, mortgage financing, appraising, land development, home building, and allied fields for the purpose of exerting influence on real estate interests. Although composed primarily of African Americans, the Realtors Organization embraces all qualified real estate practitioners who are committed to the achieving of our vision, which is democracy in housing. That's such a powerful statement. Democracy in housing, meaning everyone should be included in the process. Everyone should be included in the ability to have home ownership. And before before NARAB was founded in 1947, though we are currently, and again, thank you to all the ancestors that have come before us and all the freedom fighters and all the people that marched and all the voting rights and all of the civil rights acts and also, just all the things, right? But we as African Americans and people of color, and I'm sure people of a lot of the levels of protective classes, were not allowed to be part of the National Association of Realtors. And so NARAB was then created, founded, and I know it's one of the largest, and if you can give me that.
We are the oldest African American real estate trade organization in the country.
Yes.
Been around for 76 years.
Yes. And local Black professionals and real estate groups began forming this, not only in the South, but also in the North. Because sometimes I think we get caught up with the belief system that things in the North there was no challenges, and things in the South were really where it all happened. We had a history throughout the United States of what that was all about as far as being brown in America. Also want to add to that, and just so we can say, a lot of how most became members of the business league, right? Am I accurate to say Booker T. Washington was the National Business League, became the first advocacy association for the national business Black National Business Trade Organization. So also U.S. presidents from 1890 to 1950, two local NARAB boards founded in Harlem, came in the 20s, and in Chicago, and how it's been very influential in implementation of the equal rights and fair housing, equal opportunities throughout legislation, local, state, and federal levels since its foundings. And I just want to say also, 1963, Brian Rumford Fair Housing Act became law when signed by then Governor Edmund Gerald Pat Brown Sr., the California Association of Realtors, backed by the National Association of Realtors. So again, based on NARAB, NAR has come a long way. So it's such a beautiful dance that began to take place because some founding fathers and mothers decided that we need a voice. And though you don't have your personal voice today, you are such a big piece in bringing, I would say, our quadrant of Pennsylvania area region to more of an understanding of NARAB. And you tell me if you can or you can't, and I'll add, but can you share about the pillars of NARAB? If it's hard, I can,
So
you let
you tell me.
Mm-hmm.
So NARAB,
All right, never
it's
mind.
terrible.
I love
NARAB
you.
has
I
five
love you.
objectives.
Yes,
Do
yes,
you
yes.
want to
I
do?
will. I will pull it. I'll pull it.
Let me see if I can drink.
No, and I appreciate. I appreciate you coming because I know that this was so important to you to be here. So I know that it is a faith-based organization, and a lot of what we have done. When I look at even the sororities and the fraternities, a lot of it is very faith-based and civic engagement. What is also amazing, again, us celebrating Women's History Month as well as Black History Month, they have a women's initiative, WIRE, Women in Real Estate. Also, diversity, inclusion, and small businesses. As brown and Black people, a lot of us start, you wouldn't have a Ken Chenault if he didn't begin his process with small businesses. Also, multi-generational wealth. Multi-generational wealth. So what does that mean? So what that means for a person like me is I can then create a circumstance that Genesis and Zyla, those are my daughters, will now be able to take the next phase of what I've left behind. And there, thank you so much. Government and relationship advocacies. Which again, as I have been growing up, and I have to say under Nicole Murray, our account executive for Pocono Mountain Association of Realtors, I have learned so much more about government relations and the advocacy and understanding how we need to be part of that footprint. And NARAB being rich in its history of government relations, like I shared earlier, presidents, this organization is in rooms that a lot of people were never able to walk into. And because they were able to walk into specific rooms and eat and sit and discuss at certain tables, so much has taken place for the realtor brand and for the excluded real estate professionals in America. So we are looking to definitely make sure everybody has the information to get in contact with everyone here. Everyone that's here will get something to know how to get in contact with every person on the panelists. But we're definitely looking to broaden NAREB to Pennsylvania, to New York, to Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, Delaware. We want to expand because the state of housing in Black America still needs help. So I'm so grateful that Darlene is here. There's the 5 pillars, and here is information in reference to that. And I'm so great that she's here. If we do have questions, she will maybe text me and then I'll put it out there. But I appreciate you showing your beautiful face. I appreciate the service. Let me also say that, because here's a woman, like I said, she's a real estate professional. Her business, she brings money to her family by being a realtor and being a real estate salesperson. Her service is sharing and being a regional vice president to NAREB. So service is another piece that we must, again, take into consideration while we as women of color, as people, all people, service is part of what we need to do to push forward and to push the needle forward and to push the agenda forward and to push the story forward. So I want to thank you, Darlene, so much. Stay around. You can raise your hand. I see your expressions. I can talk. We can talk. You know how we do.
Yes.
We can get it across. We know how to talk. So I love having your face here. I want to thank you so much for being here this morning and sharing and being part of our Black Her Story Day. So I just want, so we talked about the 5 pillars. And what was the first 5 pillar? So whoever gives me the first 5 pillar gets this beautiful memo book. And you get to write all of your things down. Journaling is so important. And I wanted to say that in reference to journaling being so important, because I journal a lot more because of our next panelist. I want to just share. So her name, she named Zsa Porter, health and wellness advocate. Zsa is a passionate entrepreneur, community organizer, author, and triathlete who is on a unique mission to expose the myths and transitioning to a healthy lifestyle. She has proven that a well-planned vegan diet can fuel the highest levels of fitness, such as an Ironman, while reducing risk of injury and chronic disease. I want you to know she is a triathlete. She is an author. She is a wife and a mother, and spent a huge time in the corporate sector in a high leadership role. And one of the only people that looked like her in these roles. I want you to also know that I'm going to ask a question. And that next raffle, we will be raffling her book. So pay special attention as I bring to you the wonderful and the only, and like I said, she is an Iron Man, but iron, and I said this before we started, the periodic table of iron, the words are Fe, fee, female, iron woman, okay? Fee. I want to introduce to you guys Mrs. Zsa Porter.
Thank you.
Sanjay.
I love you so much. It's so good to be among these amazing ladies on February 29th. So it's so good to hear the stories that were just told. But I'm excited to be here and to tell my story. And thank you for the introduction. Like you mentioned, I am a digital executive in financial services, but really my passion is really around my entrepreneurship and my brand called Exposed Vegan, where I really like to share the importance of a good, healthy diet. And not just for vanity, just for our health and wellness. And what my brand was most known for, I know you're in Charlotte. I am in Charlotte as well. Yeah, so I could come see you at some point in time today. So yeah, we'll exchange information after. But my brand is known for the restaurant that I opened on West Boulevard during the pandemic, because I wanted to help people of color enhance their immune systems and to get healthy, because again, when the pandemic height was hit, we were the ones reported dying the most. And because I was not, the thing that I wanted to do to bring to the table is I cook. And I love to feed my family and I love to feed my community. And so that is what I am known for. I also, as Tiffany mentioned, I wrote a book just to share what my vegan triathlon journey is. I am a 7-time Ironman finisher. And for those who do not know what an Ironman is, that is when you swim 2.4 miles, either in a lake, a river, or the ocean. You then after have to bike 112 miles. And then thereafter, you have to run a marathon, which is 26 miles. You are given 16 and a half to 17 hours to finish. And there's cutoff points within that time for you to finish. And so I have done that 7 times. I have 3 that I'm scheduled to do this year. I'm racing every month. And I followed women of color just because I saw them. One of my very closest friends, Khadijah Diggs, she is Muslim and she races covered. And I remember seeing her over 40, showing how she finally made it on the USA Triathlon team. And that was something that I wanted to do. And I'm happy to report I made it on the USA Triathlon team as of last year. And I will be racing this year on behalf of the United States of America in Australia in August. So I am still on a very unique journey. I am still journaling, and I hope to release my second book by the end of the races this year. And I am releasing my podcast next month, just so that I can share after every race, what was it like to do it? What is it like to prepare for a multi-sport race? And then what was my nutrition? What did I do? What did I eat leading up to that time? What did I do during the race? And how do I recover and get ready really 3 weeks later for the next triathlon? And so that's the journey I'm on. I want our people, mostly women and, women 40 and older, to feel healthy. I am a year and a half from 50, so I'm very excited about that.
You're still a baby.
I know I'm still a baby, but I'm very excited about that, and having kids in college. And shout out to my husband, who supports all of my races, Lieutenant Colonel Porter, who is currently overseas. But we are on a journey together, and we're on a journey to help people get healthy. And I'm also on an elder care journey. I lost my mother a year and a half ago. She was a part of my why. But now I'm on a journey to help those 80 and up, because she's 89. She's on a road to 90. And I'm helping her with her gout, her high blood pressure, making sure that she does not reach that. She's been close to reaching diabetes. And so I am working with her on her healthy diet. So you are never too old to change your routines. You're never too old to change your diet. And so, like I said, I'm reaching 50, but she's 89. And we were able to bring her blood pressure down. We were able to help her on her journey. And she's still on one at 89. So, anything's possible.
Well, I want to definitely share, number one, the food is good. I've eaten Jaja's food for a long time. We eat each other's food. However, we don't eat everybody's food, but we eat each other's food. So, again, anyone interested, yes, some amazing person is going to win. However, Running for My Life, Jaja Porter, it's on Amazon, correct?
Yes, it's on Amazon, and it's on rosevegan.com. So if you want an autographed copy, you can order it off of my website, but it is also on Amazon for those that don't want shipping with Prime. But if you pay for it off of my website, then I have a ton here, and I will, in the notes, as long as I know who to do the signing for, I will send that to you. So yeah, I have quite a few books here.
You have a lot of people on here, and most of the people that are on are either in their, they're doing their entrepreneur, they're real estate professionals, they're on the go. We're at different, where we squeeze 10 showings in a 2-hour window. What are things that we can do to be able to eat on the go?
Yeah. So what I do, because again, I'm a triathlete, I'm an entrepreneur. I also work in corporate America. So I start very early in the morning. I go to Lifetime Fitness. I'm there at 4 a.m. I get up at 3, get my stuff together. And I end my day around 9 because I have my grandmother, I have the kids here. So when I leave the office, I'm journaling, I'm doing work here. I'm preparing, I'm looking at homework, or I'm going to activities, or I'm asking my grandmother, let's do a puzzle together or play a crossword. So there's all that happens in the evening. So to prepare, I use the weekend to prepare for the week. And sometimes midweek, I do a check of how I'm doing. Fridays and Saturdays are the days that I shop, and I determine what everyone is eating in the house, including the dog. I forgot to mention I have a dog. Oh, everybody has a Z name. But I really look at what we're eating. I have a big whiteboard in the kitchen. I have the things, because I have a very dedicated diet. I wouldn't say strict, but I do require a lot of protein as a vegan. I sponsor F2C Nutrition, which does have vegan protein, but I use a lot of plant-based protein. I eat a lot of greens. I drink a lot of smoothies. And so I make sure that I'm eating for myself every 2.5 hours. and how I pack, my big lunchbox. But even for my son, before he leaves, I have my middle child who's in theater. He has to have food on the go. I make my grandmother oatmeal loaded with berries, so that she has enough fiber and things so that she moves her bowels during the day. So I am planning on Sunday that whole menu, but I'm purchasing. I never cook the same day I go to the grocery store, because sometimes going to the grocery store, let's be real, is exhausting. I eat before I go so that I'm not in the grocery store eating for what I'm hungry for right then.
Ooh.
About what I'm going to make. So I have kind of the recipes at hand. I have the recipes sometimes in my phone, and I think about things that I want to make. So I use that Friday and Saturday to brainstorm. And then Sunday is the day that I am chopping, I'm cooking, I'm packaging. And there's some things that go in the refrigerator. Like for me, I do overnight oats. For my grandmother, I make her oatmeal. For Zion, he does different types of breakfasts because he's just a kid, kid on the go. Jason Jr. is on the go. So I have things that I buy from Amazon for them to take in the morning. And then they have the lunch and the dinner that is prepped. If not, my day becomes a little bit unorganized. Then my snacks, they are snacks that are not just from the pantry. There is fruits, there's nuts, there's things that are not processed. Why? Because that stuff takes a long time for you to pass. Okay, it sits with you, it makes you very fatigued. I don't have a lot of things that have a ton of sugar in it, because why? That sugar gives you that rush, and then you're tired. So I need the things like that 2 p.m. is where I have some of these, it's gonna be in my next book, these protein bars that I make myself, because I can control the sugar that I put into things, which I don't include.
Right.
But if you get stuff, you're dealing with ingredients that somebody else made that they're trying to preserve on a shelf for months. So be careful of what you put in your mouth. Make sure that you're putting in things that are feeding you, feeding your mind, and helping you throughout the day. And I use, again, Friday, Saturday to plan, Sunday to make it, Wednesday to check in. Do I need something else? Is there some, fruits and stuff that I need to have? Do I need more water? Checking in with what you had and how you felt that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then on the weekend, was all of that good? Do I need to switch things up? Brainstorm and then start to make your stuff again on Sunday.
So you make your food on Sunday.
I make my food on Sunday.
Make your food on Sunday. What I'm hearing, and someone else I'm looking at the chats. As an entrepreneur, as a person who is, we show properties, we work with buyers, we work with sellers. I know there's a lot of people out here that are not just in the real estate world that are watching us today. But I know when I'm making my appointments, I'm very strict on this is what we're doing and this is who I'm meeting and all of these things. And I'm penning in this. From what I'm hearing, you're talking about an, oh my God, aha moment to pen yourself in to your schedule.
For me, like I said, I get up at 3. I go downstairs. I'm in a 2-story house. I go downstairs. I have 4 different drinks that I have for myself that I've organized that Sunday. I have what I'm drinking in the car, what's at the pool deck, what I'm drinking, and then on my way home, the protein, so that I don't finish working out and I'm sleeping in the car on the way home, right? I get home, get my grandmother and my son stuff together. Then I take out my overnight oats. I made myself oatmeal and different things that I'm going to have. Then I have a protein shake on my way to work. Then when I get to work, I've been up since 3. I'm hungry around 30. I'm heating up the lunch that I made on Sunday. Then when at 2 o'clock, I have my snacks. I have either fruit, I have nuts, so it's like I'm vegan, I'm eating all the time. But every time I have an activity, I make sure that I am fueling myself so that I don't, kind of people say they hit a wall or they crash, So I'm thinking all the things. While I would be at a conference, I would have a little suitcase of things that I'm going to be eating. Okay, here's the break time. Here's the salad that I'm going to have. That's a colorful salad with berries and things like that is going to feed me. And then at night, I sometimes do workout again because I do about 3 workouts a day in between getting everybody's dinner and stuff. Then I have, what am I going to have? Because I don't want to eat too late, right? So I'm going to eat something again, work it off, and then get ready
Keep
to
it
go.
going. I want to ask one other question. And I want anyone who has any questions, because we're going to have the panelists all back on at the end. Please, there's a Q&A, so please feel free to write in that, and I'm going to grab from questions in that. But I know a lot of people and will look at and hear you, and it seems like a lot. So someone beginning to start, and I'm hearing Jaja, and yeah, I have this high blood pressure, or I'm borderline diabetic. What would you share to be how, like, a start? I'm 50, 30 pounds plus overweight that my doctor has said, because I don't want to put in some false imagery either out there in the world, what that looks like. But I'm going through some changes. I'm feeling sluggish. What can we do to start?
And you mentioned this earlier, sometimes just starting a journal for 1 or 2 days. Write down everything you ate. What time you got up? Did you eat something? What did you do throughout the day? And you'll be surprised to realize, wow, or look at the things that you're eating. What's in it?
Mm-hmm.
Where the ingredients is on the package, because there's a lot of packaging I know that people are eating right now. Where is sugar in there? Is it the second thing that's mentioned? Because that's the thing that is adding the fat. That could be the thing that is adding the weight, and that could be the thing that is making you sluggish. There's also salt. Look at how much sodium is in something. That could be the thing that's adding the water. That could be the thing that is bringing your pressure up. Just start for 1 or 2 days and write down what you're eating. And then think about, what can I replace this with? Now that you're like, oh, wow, okay, the sodium is kind of high. Oh, and for the person who says, I love salt, I do too. So you know what I mean? There are ways to get salt naturally, not having it and idealize something that's in there. There are veggies that have a natural salt to it. So write down what you're eating, and then let's figure out how can we replace it and help your palate to adjust. It is not going to happen overnight. I started vegetarian. Yes, all you need to do is write it down. I started on a journey as a vegetarian for 6 years until I hit a wall. I was on Ironman Cozumel and I threw up almost the entire race. And I was like, okay, something has to change about my diet. And then I was sick for 3 weeks. And who wants that in their life, right? I have so much to do. I have no time to be sick.
Right.
So that's what I would start with, just writing down what you're eating, realizing what's in it, and say, where can I make a substitution? And then revisit that in 2 weeks. Give yourself grace, because it's not going to happen overnight. It took you a while to get to where you're at. It's going to take a little bit for you to make that transition.
To get back out of that. No, I appreciate you so much. And again, Jaja's going to hang around because we're going to have our sister chat at the end. But here is the question. The question to receive, running for my life. What day does Jaja cook? All right, Jamie will hold on to those answers. And at the end, we will let everybody know who all the winners are. I appreciate you so much. And I thank you so much for being here today with our Black Her Story Day. So, her story, my story started with hair. Okay. The fact that this viral sensation, and I say that with that being just a piece of the puzzle. But Joylyn Hunt Esquire is a true believer that with hard work and dedication, anything can be achieved. After obtaining a law degree from Southern University and her master's in tax law from Southern Methodist University, she worked for the International Tax Advisory as a tax attorney. She is a true entrepreneur at heart. And in 2007, she left ITA and opened her own law practice, the Hunt Law Group, and her own income tax franchise, Caliente Express Tax Service. So let me just share a little something. We're always searching. We're always, as entrepreneurs, if you're not always searching, you're missing out. I am always searching. And in that search, I'm looking for people that are out and about doing things that can enhance what I do. And I came across this amazing, like, woman who is giving out. When I tell you the jewels that she is dropping on her Instagram and her social media sites can make anybody, first of all, better in business. Second of all, at least at a minimum a figure higher in your income than you are right now. So if you're 4 figures, you could be 5. If you're 5 figures, you could be 6. If you're 6 figures, you could be 7. So I am going to say that, I mean, there's so much here that I can share, but this right now, I don't even want to hear my voice anymore. The only voice I want to hear is from Dr. Joy Lynn Hunt, Esquire.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm still trying to understand how we work out 3 times a day. We cook everything. She didn't mention Chick-fil-A, because that, that Chick-fil-A is healthy. I'm the mom that thinks Chick-fil-A is healthy. Taking care of the grandma. I mean, unreal. Hats off to you, Jaja. Your story has inspired me. I need to get myself together.
I love it. But
I love it.
And that's the beauty of an event like this. And this is the beauty of seeing each other, right? Like really seeing each other, listening to each other, no competition. Just I want to grow, and each one of us are growing in such a different place. However, towards the same journey of just being the best version of ourselves through all adversity, through all challenges, through all what have you. And when I have experienced you, I see, like, I have a workshop that I do and I teach, and people say, well, why do you give so much away? And part of the workshop is I give everybody a candle, a candlestick that's not lit. Mine is lit. And at the end of my workshop, I light everybody's candle. And I say to them, now, is my candle any dimmer because I supported you? And of course, it's like an aha moment. But you live and breathe that every time you post. And I mean, when I tell you, it brings it, I was so drawn to you that I was like, can you please reach out to me? I want you to be on this panel. I was almost like, like insane over it, because I'm such a fan of your genius. So I want to thank you so much for coming today and sharing, and share it with us a little bit more about you.
Okay, so hi, my name is Joy, and I am your business bestie. So besides being a business attorney and a tax attorney, I am also a serial entrepreneur. So I started a salon franchise. We had 10 locations throughout Texas and Louisiana. I have my own income tax office. Ventured off, have a car dealership, collision shop. So I do everything business. And when I started my entrepreneurial journey, being an entrepreneur back in circa 2005, 2006, that wasn't the thing. Back then it was everyone was getting a 6-figure job, and that was, the thing to do. So I didn't have any kind of mentorship, any kind of guidance. So I had to bump my head on the wall and lose money and waste time and kind of just figure this thing out. And I wanted to have a platform where if you were able to come to my page and you didn't have $1 to your name, I can get you your business to at least the next level. If you have money to invest, I can take you on and beyond. But I never had that. So I think it is so important to always pay it forward. So that, the next entrepreneur doesn't have to go through all the leaps, the hurdles, the crying nights, the money gone, all of that to make their journey easier.
And you know what? And that is a piece, I think, with all of us starting out in business, we all had that struggle. And can you share with us some of the journeys towards your entrepreneurship and what has inspired you to start your own business? Because, like you said, you were doing this when it wasn't popular. So, what was the inspiration to say, I'm going to step out on my own?
To be honest, the inspiration was when I was working for the firm. I saw how much they were billing me, and then I saw how much I was making, and there's a ceiling. So it's like no matter how good I do, no matter how well I perform, well, yeah, there's bonuses, but there's a cap to what I'm going to. And so I was like, well, I would rather, I would rather there not be a cap. I would rather be able to be paid be paid based on what I can go out and get. And so that's what had me start my own law practice. And then I was doing very well. But then I realized, wait, I thought 6 figures, you know what I'm saying, was success. People are making 6 figures a month. What is this? So I am always big on what is the next opportunity. I don't believe in titles. I don't believe like if you're an attorney, you got to be an attorney. My whole thing is, where is the next opportunity? So if it's selling hair, I'm selling hair. If it's selling a car, I'm selling a car. If it's buying a monkey, I'm buying a monkey. Like whatever is the next opportunity, that's what I'm looking for, so that I can always have, multiple streams of income.
I want to talk about the fact, you slipped that in, but I want to honor that ownership of a car dealership. Brown woman, and you are an ownership of a car dealership. Tell us how that came about.
That came about when I had my hair salons. I was dependent on the stylist to make the money. I don't have a cosmetology license. I mean, I can do hair, but I can't just go and take a client, right? And so I was like, I'm making great money, but I'm in a business to where my income is dependent on someone else. I got to get the stylist to work in time and have makeup and have great customer service and don't have an attitude. And I was like, I need to be in so I felt I was always dependent on someone else to make money. So I said, I need to get into something to where, no, I don't need anyone. I can just sell something. And at the time, my husband at the time was a car connoisseur, and I was like, well, let's just sell cars. He made a very bad investment, and we lost a lot of money. And in the losing of the money, I learned everything as to what not to do when buying cars wholesale and selling them. So I said, hey, we have a $500,000 loss right here, but in all the mistakes that you made, as I've learned them, I now know what not to do. So we might as well go into this industry, because the jewels is knowing what not to do. Everyone can tell you, okay, Google, here's what to do. It's all the exceptions to the rules. So that's how I got into the car dealership, because of this loss. But now I don't believe in losses. I believe in lessons. So, hey, well, I got a PhD in dealership, but we don't own one. So let's go ahead and own one. And so I went from that to then after COVID, we changed from doing regular bank financing to being the bank and doing in-house financing. And that's just what skyrocketed everything. Then the marriage was kind of toxic. So I left, and he tried to kill me. So I had to relocate. So I started from ground zero again. And that's when I started really giving all the knowledge, because I was like, you know what? If someone could do this to me, and I feel like I'm strong, I'm smart, I'm the go-getter, imagine if I was a stay-at-home mom. Imagine if I hadn't renewed my teaching certificate, my realtor's license. I was just, at home taking care of the home and the kids, and I may not have the resources. How would I be able to start over from ground zero? So a lot of also giving out as far if anyone is in a similar situation to where what I was in when I left, he took all the money, he locked me out the business. I have 2 attorneys, 6-figure in legal fees. It's a shit show right now. But
Right.
I want to make sure that there's no other woman or no other person who feels stuck. So if you go on my page, you're going to learn something. I'm giving you the game because I want to make sure that you can start with anything. You don't have to have the degree. You don't have to have the training. If you have the girth, if you have the hustle, if you have the intuitive, I always say, I made a good 6 figures as an attorney. I made millions in industries I had no experience in. Just get in and doing the work and learn that industry. So I want to make sure that everyone is at least equipped with how to start, how to grow, how to market, what to do. And all you have to do is put the work in and you can go and get it.
So, and again, that piece, putting in the work, right? Moving forward, not stopping, continuous, not being always sitting and being a victim of your circumstance. Because I'm listening to you, and it's, and we've heard from so many amazing women today. However, we all have a story. And every woman here has a story, but every woman here is taking that story to the next level. Oh, God is talking right now. Thank you. So you have this really amazing relationship. I have a relationship with movies as well that have taken me and changed my life. Tell me about the movie Good Hair and what that did for you.
I would say the movie Good Hair literally changed my life. I knew nothing about hair extensions. Been wearing short hair since 2000. And I was dating my soon-to-be ex-husband at the time, and he was starting to sell hair extensions. This is going to be circa 2008. So before, Alibaba, before DHL, before Instagram, like it was either Beauty Supply Hair, and then you can go to a shop or two to get virgin extensions. But in watching the movie Good Hair, I learned about the demand of hair extensions. So as an attorney, when I tell you my retainer is $15,000, I got to hear, well, let me go talk to grandma and I got to go raise this and that. I got rent. They're always telling me all the bills that they have. But in the movie, people are putting hair on layaway. People are talking about, I'm not going to pay my rent to get this hair. And I'm like, well, baby, I need to be in the industry where people are not paying the bills to pay me. And so I was like, hey, I don't know whatever you put in, but let me match your contribution. I would like to be 50-50 because I think this is a market. I know nothing about hair extensions. And got in, I had to learn everything. I had to actually start wearing them so I can kind of tell people how to wear them, how to style them. And that's what we started with the hair boutique, brought it to Houston, and we just took it to that next level.
You definitely took it to the next level. And this is what I mean by, again, leveling up. You don't necessarily know what door is there, but but open it. So you opened the doors to the fact of your hair being featured on television, VH1, Basketball Wives, music videos with Justin Bieber. Myself as a stylist, I started at the age of 10, started making money at the age of 12, became a celebrity stylist around the age of 16. Just really keep going and one of the things too, because you are also sharing, and as women, we juggle. And sometimes, we have to make changes in our lives. And you're saying now, you had to pivot out of a relationship. So as a woman in business, how important is that to make sure that the team around you is supportive to what you're doing?
You have to have a team. I was blessed to have a team. So I was able to have, a nanny. I was able to have help. You got to have, as a mom, you want to make sure, number one, that your kid is taken care of. So if you have your kid situated, that's going to allow you to be able to focus at work. You want to be able to have help around the house. Like you want to be able to have people that can whether it's a spouse, whether you can hire someone, like you know, who's doing the cooking, who's doing the pickup, who's doing this. So you are able to, you know, maximize your role at the office, depending on what your role is. I had more of a primary breadwinner role in my dynamic. So I was able to have a lot of help to help with everything else.
And I want to talk about that. I want to kind of bring the panel back together a little bit. But before we do that, I want to make sure our next.
She got the gifts. She got the gifts.
Gift. Okay, for women, and we are always time managing, right? So I am a lover of these hourglasses. This is a 30-minute glass. What is the movie that changed Dr. Joy Lynn Hunt? That is the question. And whoever gets that right will get this. So I want to bring back the panel. And one of the things we were talking about was hair. And as brown women in industry, as entrepreneurs in the corporate sector, as real estate professionals, let's talk about that, like the hair. And people wanting to, hey, oh my God, your hair, or how did you shift with working through that question? Because I know as women, we get that question about the hair. So I want if Cindy can kind of chime in real quickly in reference to that.
Yes, thank you, Tiffany. Some real good discussions. I appreciate being a part of this panel. Again, as an Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Director for the Internal Revenue Service, we have experienced, and when I say we, Black women have experienced this microaggression. That's what it is. It's a microaggression. My hair is actually long, and it grows like weeds. I thought as I get older, it would slow up from growing, but it has not. And I am getting tired of people asking, is this my real hair? So much so where I had someone to ask me if they can part my hair to look at my scalp because they did not believe that this was my hair. They asked me, well, where do you buy your hair from? Or how much hair do you put into your hair? So I had to stop and think about this. And I actually asked the person, I said, would you ask a white female, is that her real hair? And they stopped and thought about it. And I said, well, you know, you need to realize that you are conducting a microaggression, and that is not good. We had a situation in one of our field locations outside of the Washington, D.C. area where we had a Black female working in a majority white center of ours and in the Midwest. And she called me in tears. She said, you know, I changed my hairstyle. I came into the office with braids. I've never worn braids before. And she said the whole day, all of my colleagues were asking, how long did it take? Is all that your hair? You know, did you do it in pieces? She said she couldn't get any work done because she had so many questions about her hair. And she had felt like she was being discriminated against and she wanted to file a complaint. Well, that's what I do. And what I try to do is eliminate possible EEO complaints. So I told her she has every right to file a complaint. I said, however, let me write an article from my office and we're going to post it in our newsletter that goes throughout the division. And I had one of my senior specialists to do research on Black hair and being sensitive to Black hair and the diversity of Black hair. So when she wrote that article and we published it, and I made a point to give a copy to the young lady who had an issue in our Midwestern state, she printed it out and she gave each and every one of her colleagues a copy of that email article. Wow. And she thanked my office and said, thank you so much. This explains everything. And she said she even had colleagues coming up to her crying, saying, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I put you on display like I did, you know, and I am so sorry. So I want to believe that a lot of people have unconscious bias and we have to point it out. But then there's some that really consciously have prejudices. So that's what the story I wanted to tell about here. And I've been asked over and over again, and I stop them in their tracks and say, would you ask anybody else, a Caucasian woman, if that's their real hair?
Right. I know. Well, I've always had, because my hair grows not even just down, but out.
Yes,
Right? So
I said
and
for
I know
62 years
we've been on
old.
vacation together. I know, you know how we go through our product.
Yes.
Jaja, I want to ask, because it was a chat question. Can you please share what are some of the natural salt veggies?
Oh, so I have a garden in my backyard. I prefer to probably share a list with you, Tiffany. There's a lot. You
Okay.
can get a lot from greens. You can get a lot of herbs. The thing that I want y'all to be careful of is when you use herbs that are bottled, right, and they're packaged, sometimes when you mix them together, it's like sage may not go with this other herb. When you grow them naturally, all of those things can be blended and they create a natural ingredients that seasons your food so much better than when something is bottled. You'll notice that it smells different. It doesn't have the same aroma. And so if you grow sage and oregano and rosemary, you can mix those things together and you can start to take away and remove the salt. And you'll notice that your palate will start to change. And then what's interesting, you'll go some other places and you'll be like, oh, you put a lot of salt in here. It's not really that it's probably the salt has always been there. You'll notice
Wow.
guys, oh, these are salty. It's because you've naturally started to change your palate and you've put those natural herbs together where your palate changes and you no longer desire to have those that salt anymore. So you can start with changing some of the certain salts to maybe a pink salt. There's different degrees that increase your blood pressure. And then you will naturally want to remove it. Your palate will adjust over time if you naturally use herbs. And then notice that you're gonna be like, this is a little bit too salty, or this has too much. And then you'll start to remove it yourself. But it is a process. It is a journey, and be patient with yourself and your palate.
Okay, so this is a popular. How can we determine which fruits, herbs, vegetables we are able to grow in the area we live?
Sometimes it's not even just the area. You can do things indoors. You'll also notice that there's seasonal veggies, and that you can Google. There's also areas maybe in your yard or where you want to grow them where your veggies will let you know this is not a good spot for me. So normally when you purchase, if you're doing it by seed, or if you go to a Home Depot or a place, it will provide some instructions around how much sunlight and the air quality and things. You can follow those instructions, and then you can look up the plant. There are several things on YouTube where people can share, and then there's things that you can do inside the house. So like basil, you can't do basil when it's too hot or it's too cold. So I bring my basil indoors. And then when it's nicer out here, I'm in North Carolina, then I can take it outside and I keep it closer to my house because it cannot be in direct sunlight for like 8 hours or and it won't come back. So you can look up information on that. But some things can be done indoors. Like you can see, like people will do a greenhouse. You can do that in your house. You can on a table. So there are certain things that you can do indoors and not always keep them outside. You don't have to worry about like the climate.
Well, I will also say there are a lot of real estate professionals on here. So I would say find one of these amazing Pocono Mountain Association of Realtors, and they can find you a home. And Costco does have amazing greenhouses for sale that you can put on your property. So I want to add that. I thank you so much. I want to ask Dr. Hunt Esquire. I'm going to give you your title, even though I know you don't care about the titles, because I happen to know how hard it is to pursue those degrees. And also, I want to quick share and get a little information from you about being a sorority member of the Alpha K Alpha sorority?
Well, it's the best. We are the first sorority and the best sorority. It's about sisterhood, you know, bonding with the ladies to give back to, you know, I'm a big believer on the more you give, the more you receive. So, you know, helping those who are less fortunate is going to help the overall, because people who can't, like, just because you made it doesn't mean that everyone else like you will make it. And so if you can help another person, you know, have an easier walk, if you can help another person who's maybe in a more disenfortunate, if that's even a word,
Disenfranchised.
Thank you, disenfranchised situation, that's what it's all about.
And I want to ask your advice. Do you have for women aspiring to start their own business?
Start.
Ooh!
Start. The reason why you want to have your own business is, number one, you want to
Mic drop. This is his ad. Mic drop. Start. Continue.
Start. So you want to be able to earn income. You want to be able to pay bills. And I say this for this. Let's just say you have the perfect dynamic. You're able to be a stay-at-home mom and your husband pays all the bills. What if he were to get in a car accident and he's in a coma for 6 months? Yes, you have a savings account, but do you want to really deplete your savings account? What if you were able to have a business and you don't have to work your business if you don't have to, but you at least have it, it's active. And so you're able to at least knock out the mortgage or pay the light bill or keep your daughter in ballet and keep your son in football. Always be able to have a source of income or be able to go and earn income, so that if something were to happen, your whole lifestyle doesn't have to change. My mom was my mom was a mom. She's the stay-at-home mom. She was the PTA mom. She's the Boy Scout. She did everything kid related, right? She was like mom of the year. When my parents got divorced my sophomore year in college, we had a nice middle class life. And then I saw my mom have to go from, shopping in Nordstrom's and doing what she's doing to now having a roommate. She didn't keep her teaching credentials active because she was a stay-at-home mom for 20-something years. She had a master's degree and all that, but now you have this big gap in your resume. So I saw my mom have to go back to the classroom, and it was a really hard reboot for her. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, wait a minute. So getting married is not a plan, because I'm the girl who went to college to get the MRS degree. My nails match my outfit. I'm cute, and I'm just here to go find me a husband and be a mom and, decorate this house and take care of these kids. And it wasn't until my junior year or my third year in college, I did 5 years, when my mom got divorced, I'm like, oh, wait, I need to be able to actually make some money, because I don't want my life to ever have to change. However I am, I want to be able to keep myself there. So once I saw my mom go through that divorce, baby, I had maybe a 1.8 GPA. I was like, hold on, counselor. Hold on. I have to actually have a degree in work. So let me go ahead and get myself together. I thought the MRS degree, I need y'all's degree. I'm over here playing, right?
Right.
So it's so important that a woman have her own money, or at least have their own resources, have the skill. And nowadays with a business, you can work it in the evening, you can work it on the side. It could be some additional income. It could be you just make the money from your business, and that's just what y'all put in savings. That could be your vacation money. Jobs are being laid off all day, every day. Paramount Pictures just laid off some people. It's like there is no such thing now as job security. There is no such thing. I mean, what if COVID comes again? I mean, I don't even know where we're living right now. But if you have put the power of your finances in your control. So having a business, besides the income, there's also a lot of tax benefits that may help your husband if he is the primary breadwinner. He may be able to get some of that high payroll taxes, the FICA, Medicare that he's paying, he may be able to get some of that back by you having a business that can offset some of these things. So I always say, just start scared, start broke, start with no money, just start, and you can make it better as you go,
as you grow.
but just start.
Amen. Amen. Darlene, I want to just make sure, I know, I want to make sure everyone recognizes that NARAB right now has 103 chapters throughout the United States and are growing. I want to make sure that everybody has the information in how to find these powerful, powerful, powerful women. And Cindy, I know you have an amazing quote for our Black Her Story Day, and I would like for you to share that with us.
Thank you so much. And I do have another engagement I need to get and prepare for, but I do want to leave you all with this. You know, these are two famous quotes by two famous Black women. The first quote is, "Every woman's success should be an inspiration to another. We're strongest when we cheer each other on." And that quote is from Serena Williams. And the last quote I want to leave you with is, "There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish." And that quote is from my shero, Michelle Obama. I want to thank you all for your time. I know, Tiffany, you have my contact information.
Yes.
And please share that with everyone on the call. And hopefully everyone will enjoy the rest of their Black History Month, which is today the official end and the start of Women's History Month.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
and I
so
appreciate
much,
it.
so much, so
and
much.
I love
Thank
you, Tiffany.
I love you. Mwah.
Bye-bye.
And I would like to have, you know, as women, they always tend to just knock on our doors no matter what. So I want to give this to the first person who can give us the women that Cindy quoted from. She mentioned two powerful women and two powerful quotes. So please knock first is such importance in what we're doing, because we've all talked about prioritizing ourselves, getting ourselves in order, getting ourselves ready for the day so that we can be the powerhouse, iron women, super women that we are. Again, Cindy, I want to thank you so much. And I know we have another amazing, amazing raffle to a realtor. So on behalf of Pocono Mountain Association of Realtors, with our president, Yara Wilkins, I immediate past president, Nicole Murray, our account executive, I just want you to know that some amazing person is having their MLS fees for the second quarter waived. And Jamie is going to announce who that person is. And that is a realtor who was one of the first to be on today's recording and has got the experience and has been with us throughout this whole entire panel ride. So there's another amazing, amazing raffle that we have given. And it's the first time we've done that as Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. I want to definitely bring Jamie back on to do some housekeeping for what's to come with Pocono Mountain Association of Realtors. I want to definitely thank every single panelist here: Jaja, Cindy, Darlene, Dr. Joy. You are amazing, amazing. You are such pinnacles in your industry and such pinnacles for us. And you're part of our pillars now and part of our Pocono Mountain Association of Realtors family. So we will be touching base a lot more. I want to thank you so much in reference to that. Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee, Pocono Mountain Association of Realtors for 2024. None of this could happen if we didn't come together and make things happen. So I appreciate you, and I definitely appreciate our MLS board that allows us to do so many things, our board of directors. I know there's some Q&A, and I know but we only have 5 minutes. So yes, I see some people are answering the questions. Okay. So Jamie will handle all of those things and let us know, and we will make sure that we get those prizes out to you. Jamie, take it away.
Yes, before I announce the prizes, I'm going to do my little PMAR commercial to make sure everybody listens all the way through. But I want to thank our panelists seriously so much for joining us today. We are so blessed to have a strong DEI committee, one of the first in the state, I believe,
Yes.
to be this established, to be able to put an event like this together, to get these amazing speakers in one virtual room together. That's not something everybody has the opportunity to have happen in their association. So we are blessed to have this committee, and thank you all so much for sharing your time with us this morning. And if you enjoyed today's session and you want to start your entrepreneurial journey or continue your entrepreneurial journey, PMAR has a couple of classes that might just help you with that. We have our resort and second home property specialist certification coming up on March 18th. We also have one called Build Wealth, Representing Investors, and Become One Yourself. These are both NAR certifications. One of the great things about NAR is they really do promote professionalism, education, entrepreneurship, and growth within their membership. And as we head into Women's History Month, followed immediately by Fair Housing Month in April, you can look for additional panel discussions, but we do currently have on the schedule Bill Dedman, who is the Newsday reporter who broke the Long Island Divided story. If you're not familiar with that, go check it out. We'll send a link after this webinar. But we're going to have him come in and do a talk, and Tiffany's going to moderate a discussion with him. And Cindy has stepped off the call, but I can't thank her enough for introducing our implicit bias class. Speaking about folks who didn't know, right? Like folks just don't know the things they don't know. And I'm sure a lot of those folks didn't have the intention of offending any of those folks that they were working with. And once they knew better, they did better, right? So the importance of examining yourself and your implicit bias as you're going out to work with the public as realtors is huge. So NAR, again, to their credit, has developed a class called Implicit Bias Overriding Implicit Bias, excuse me. And that we're going to have for free continuing education, free food at PMAR on April 30th. So all of these events are going to get sent out to you. The last thing I want to share, we did have to cancel our gala this year. We had weather issues and health issues and attendance issues. But in place of that, we're going to be offering a president's reception to meet your new board for 2024. And that's going to be on March 28th. It's going to be at the ESU Planetarium, which is a beautiful space. If you haven't been there, have a nice cocktail reception there. So we'll get you all that information. Now, the news you've all been waiting for, our winners for today. Patricia Thomas, you got our mug for knowing that Cindy's sport was golf. Antoinette Codrington, you are our first and our last and our everything for our quarterly MLS fees being waived. Sandra Bailey, you're getting that journaling notebook to start your journey there, because you knew our first NAREB pillar was faith and civic engagement. Yolanda Cruz is going to get Jaja's book. Oh shoot, I didn't write down good hair. All right, I'll get back to you on good hair. I did have somebody got that. But seriously, thank you all so much. We're just so lucky as an association.
We really are. And I want to thank you guys so much. And how proud are you of me that I finished on time?
Well, it is a banner day, I'm telling you right now.
Thank you all so much. Look out for more from your Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. Definitely continue to look at Growth Zone for everything, Pocono Mountain Association of Realtors and the MLS. I love you guys and have a great rest of today. We have 13 hours left of Black History Month.
Bye.